Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to August 7th pre-market session, and let's get started. All right. So let's take a look at the economic events for the day. We had July employment report, and overall the labor market is slowing, and lower wage growth reduces obviously the inflation, and overall the when the payroll is basically I think the payroll increased or decreased. Payroll is 30k versus 69k expected. So payroll is weak, unemployment stronger than expected, and well, we'll see how the market will see this report and consider it in the price. Okay, and on the obviously because of this report, because of slower hiring, slower wage growth, there is less inflation pressure, and this will be a positive catalyst for the market and the price action probably. So we'll see if that will basically affect the price action when the market opens or not. And we had some volatility on the oil side as well. Again, this is the same exact basically price action related to just tensions increase, prices go up, decrease, prices go down, but technically the price is almost around 78 zone right now on WTI. No major news that might affect the overall market on the crude oil side. And we had earnings. Airbnb beated earning per share and revenues in line and had strong guidance as well. So if you take a look at Airbnb, we're seeing Airbnb gapping up, pushing higher, retested 170 zone, and now it's holding around 162. So if you zoom out, the all-time high on Airbnb is around like 220-ish, but it has a major resistance around this 162 and then 170. It's retested 170. It's holding around 162-ish zone. Now, if Airbnb holds this 162, there might be a chance of bouncing above this level and retesting 170, and that 170 would be the major resistance. If that breaks, we can just continue moving higher to 180 and then 190-ish on ABNB. Cloudflare and ETNet had earning as well, beated the earning and the revenue, and had a strong guidance as well. So this is the all-time high price action on all-time high price on net, and the high of this month was the all-time high, which was around 305, and now we are trading around 326 right now. We hit 338, 340 zone, and now we're pulling back. So this is a major gap up, to all-time highs, and still holding and consolidating around those levels. So pre-market low, definitely on watch for a possible pushback down. Depending on the price action, we might even see a gap fill setup, and also obviously the pre-market high, which is the current all-time high, on watch for a possible continuation on net. All right, so yeah, with that being said, these are basically the only events and major earnings worth taking a look for the day. Now let's take a look at the S&P 500. So SPY had this beautiful rally, and then consolidation started on Wednesday and then yesterday as well. So we were seeing SPY pulling back, and yesterday we literally just consolidated. The price didn't move that much, and what is happening right now in the pre-market is a reclaim of 711 712 zone on SPY, and now we're retesting the same zone. So definitely pre-market high on watch. Pre-market high would be around 773-ish zone. On watch for a possible breakout of this zone. If that happens, the next major resistance clearly would be the all-time high of 776.5, which is Wednesday's high, right? So that is going to be definitely a major resistance, and with the rejection that we saw on Tuesday and Wednesday, this whole zone 773 all the way up till 776 would be important resistance area on SPY. The main demand zone would be 767, and then obviously the stronger main demand area on SPY is around 760, which is the previous all-time high. The price action around this range would be very important to watch on SPY. So if you see a rejection of this zone and a push back down and a retest of this area, breaking this zone could potentially push the price down till 762, 760, and create a breakout and retest setup on SPY. All right, that would be, in my opinion, the ideal price action on SPY for possible continuation after this pullback, but still that might not happen, and we might break out of this 773.4 and 776.77 and make a new all-time high. So just keep these major support and resistance zones on your watch. Qs already had this beautiful breakout, a retest to 703, 705 zone, which is right around this 921 EMA, and it held right above 50 SMA. This blue line you see here, this is the 50 SMA on Qs. We technically held above this zone yesterday, and now we are bouncing above it. So Qs, in my opinion, looks pretty solid for a possible continuation. Now the pre-market level of 723 all the way up to 728 would be the major resistance on watch on Qs, and we will need to watch this zone for a possible reclaim by the bid for continuation on this bullish move on Qs. The key demand area would be clearly, it's very, like, I guess, obvious on the daily chart as well. So this whole 710 down till 705 would be important demand area on Qs. So I will just, since we are really far from this zone, you could see that this 710 down till 705 would be the main demand area on Qs, and the resistance is clearly 723 all the way up till the 728.29 on QQQ. SMH is trying to push higher. It is trying to retest and break through this 585. This is the same zone we rejected on Wednesday, we rejected yesterday, we rejected multiple times before. And right above this level, we have the 50 SMA as well. So this zone would basically be from 582, and technically we broke out of this zone. So the 588 pre-market high all the way up to 595 would be the major resistance on SMH. And we need to see this zone break for a continuation, for a bullish movement on SMH. So this is a pretty wide zone, and it will be yeah, from this 588, as I said, all the way up to this 50 SMA, or like 595-ish on SMH, semiconductor ETF, right? But if that happens, if this break happens, we could go for, we could retest 615 and then move even higher. And with that, a lot of semiconductor names might possibly continue a bullish move. We'll go over a couple of them in a minute. But if this level rejects here and the price push back down, the main zone on watch would be around 560-ish, 560 zone, around this area, for as a main demand zone. If this level does not hold, then we can go for a gap fill, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we have a gap fill down till 545, and then the next demand would be around 530. Let's take a look at a couple of individual tickers. Apple retested. Apple had this breakdown. Now it had a retest to 315, 317, 18 area, and clearly rejected it yesterday. And now we are holding right around this 312, 13 again, and we'll see if it will reject it or not. For now, we're just holding this trend, and the resistance zone is rejecting. So below 309, Apple could be a play down till 303, 304. And for a bullish setup, we definitely need to reclaim above this 316, 17 and hold above the level, and for a possible continuation on this bullish, basically major uptrend that we're seeing on Apple. Tesla broke down, retested 330, and now we're seeing the rejection, but so far it is still holding above 315 on watch as a main demand zone. The resistance is clearly 328 all the way up till this 337, in my opinion. Nvidia looks pretty solid and strong. Yesterday it consolidated in this range, and clearly we are opening in this same exact range today as well. So we are seeing an inside day price action. The major resistance on watch is 223, 224. The demand zone, the first demand zone would be 217, and the main one would be 214 down till 210 on Nvidia. Google totally failed. Now it's holding right above this demand zone. Possibly if we see a bounce above this level, it could be a good setup to trade if that happens. So we are holding right above this 50 SMA on the daily chart and the moving averages. So it's a pretty strong demand area on Google. Now the possibility of seeing reversal is there, so that would definitely be on watch. If Google wants to continue the short setup, we definitely need to break below 355, 353, 350 and hold below this zone for a possible breakdown below this area. Now we have a lot of layers of demand right here, so the possibility of the bounce is, in my opinion, is really high, but we'll see if it happens or not. So Google at this demand zone on watch. AMD post earning pretty much just doing nothing. It's just trading the same exact range. The main resistances on AMD would be this 507, 510, and the key demand would be this 435. It is holding in a range, so I would like to see AMD out of this area. Intel is right at this resistance of 100, 102. It is trying to break through this zone again, the same zone that we rejected yesterday. We are right there, right? We are just retesting the same exact zone. So this zone on watch, this zone is the 100, 103 on Intel. If we reclaim this zone and hold above this area, if bid is strong enough to control the zone, obviously we'll need to see the same thing on the semiconductor ETF as well. If that happens, we could possibly go for 111 as the next major resistance. But if we see the rejection below this 94, would be interesting to watch. Meta, I really don't like the price action. Maybe below this 577, we might get a good breakdown and sell off. And the major resistance is 604, 605. And if we reclaim that level, we can potentially go for 630. MU, yeah, very similar to Intel. Looks like it's just trying to break through this 930 zone now. MU's price action is kind of tough. I think this whole resistance zone is pretty important on MU, right? So even if it breaks out of this 930, we have 960, 950 right above it as the next major resistance. So I think there is a big wall here, and MU needs to break out of this 900, like 90, 1000 zone and control that area for a possible bullish setup. Meanwhile, this zone is rejecting, and below this 820-ish area on watch for a possible breakdown. Microsoft looks pretty strong, very overextended. A pullback could be healthy, didn't happen. Now we are still holding in this resistance zone, even though yesterday it tried to break out of this area, it couldn't, failed, and now in the pre-market we are still holding in this resistance zone. Technically, sellers are still in control, and we need to reclaim 500 and hold above the level for continuation on this bullish uptrend on Microsoft. In case of a rejection and breakdown below 485, I think we could see some sort of breakdown and technically a pullback on higher time frame on Microsoft. Amazon looks pretty solid after this breakdown, and now with this retest, we're seeing Amazon is still holding above this 270 zone. So Amazon on watch for maybe more consolidation here and finally break out of this 279. That would be the ideal scenario. If it breaks down and sells off, that would be definitely a failure. Below this 270, we could go for 260, and then we have a gap to fill. And PLTR, I like its hold. It had a massive rally retest of 200 SMA yesterday, held the zone, and it's bouncing above this level. PLTR looks really solid right at this zone. I think we need to obviously reclaim above this 163, 165 zone, but this hold and reclaim looks pretty solid on PLTR. I like PLTR's price action for a possible breakout of this like 159.5, a retest of 163, and then depending on the reaction around these levels, plan for the next basically setup on PLTR. And the main demand is 152. Okay, yeah. Please mute yourself, guys, when you are entering the session. Please mute yourself. I mean, okay, I muted you, but just please make sure you mute yourself for the next sessions. All right, so yeah, with that being said, let's get ready for the market open, and let me know what you guys are watching for that day. Okay. All right, awesome. So with that being said, I will be going ahead and trade live with the team. As always, if you want to join us, you can check out the link in the description and join us and trade live with us every single day. We trade every single day. We trade live every single day. We trade Microsoft, SPY, Qs, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, you name it. We focus on the SPY. We focus on the stocks, ETFs, and options mainly. So if you're interested in taking advantage of advanced securities like options and be able to day trade, swing trade them, scalp them, We trade live so that you can actually see all of these decisions and trades in a real market in action. So if you want, you can join us, and hope to see you inside.